Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and how are you doing today? I want to welcome you to another video tutorial on the XAUUSD, and I'm excited to let you know that this is going to be a follow-up video to my previous analysis on this pair. And if you were with me throughout the course of last week's trading session, we were able to take over 3,000 pips after we took advantage of both this bullish momentum right to the upside here, and we also joined this bearish momentum right to the downside, which gave us, I think, about between 2,500 to 3,500 pips in profits during the course of last week's trading session. For those who would like to have a peep into what our expectations were yesterday, with daily commentaries on how we took advantage of that trading opportunity last week. I will be sharing the link to that video in the comment section of this video so you can have a peep into what our expectations were and how we took advantage of this opportunity. So, with that being said, let's dive into the current structure here and let's decipher what this next week is going to be um, giving us. So when we scale up to the daily time frame, well, the first thing we observe here on the daily time frame, hold on a second, let's scale up to the daily time frame. So the first thing we observe here on the daily time frame is that price action has been on a long-term bearish momentum, as you can see on your screen. And after connecting the series of lower highs here, I was able to identify this result on bearish trend line, as you can see on your screen. Now, the most important structure we have here right now is the $1,786 level, which has been a major determinant of price action since the beginning of the year. If we look at how price action related to that structure, we saw how that level was holding buying pressure at the beginning of the year. I think this lasted for about 2 months. We saw buying pressure from this area, which took price to the highest peak price, got to this here at around the $2,080 level. Then we saw price come back again into that level again during the month of May, and we saw another buying momentum from that level, but this momentum wasn't as strong enough as it was met with strong resistance from the sellers, which finally led to the breakdown of that structure in the month of July. And since the breakdown of that level happened in the month of July, we have seen how price has continued to trade right below that level to emphasize the strength of the sellers at this point in the market. Now, looking at what happened a couple of weeks ago on this pair, let me zoom out a little bit so we can see what is really going on at this point. So, in the last 2 weeks, we saw this engulfing candle, which finally broke out of that bearish trend line. As you can see here, we saw the final breakout of the bearish trend line, which also shares a confluence with the $1,680 level, a very important key level that has been serving as our trading yardstick in the last 3 to 4 months now. And when price came back into the 1,786 level, we saw how that level one more time um, rejected all buying pressure at that level to emphasize how strong the sellers are. And if you look at what has been happening here since the month of July, we saw how that level has been holding selling niche in this market. So as a result of this, I identified that level as a supply zone. And during the course of last week trading session, we saw this consolidation phase here, which appeared to evolve into the beginning of a retracement phase, as we can see, to engulfing candle during the last couple of days. Last week, we saw this engulfing candle bringing price to the downside. And from a technical standpoint, whenever we witness a breakout of a structure like this, we expect at one point in time, price might likely come back to do a retest of that structure, as you can see here, which also lines up with the demand zone that has been holding buying pressure since the month of September, where we might be anticipating a second wave of that bullish momentum at this point. So, from a technical standpoint, this is what we should be expecting on the XAUUSD. However, it's not every time price action moves in this way, as we might be having a situation that might be different from what this view is. So, as we head into the new week, what are we going to be looking out for? How is price going to be relating to the structure right below the 1,786? So, in order to have a better perspective into what is really going on here, let's scale down to a much lower time frame. Let's see what has been happening around here during the course of last week's trading session to decipher what next we want to be doing on the XAU USD. Now, before I scale down to the daily to the 1 hour time frame, I think the 2 hours time frame we were most precise here. I want to share with you um, what might likely be driving price action for this week. And the most important event coming up on the economic calendar is the FOMC minutes, which is coming up on Wednesday. And it is normal for participants in this market to anticipate this event, and we shall be seeing the anticipation of this event reflected on the chart as price action. So let's scale back to the chart and let's see what we have on the lower time frame. And when we scale down to the 2 hours time frame, what do we have here? So here we are on the 2 hours time frame. So like I told you on the daily time frame, I told you that we saw a situation where price was caught within a consolidation phase last week, right within the $1,786 level and the $1,755 area, to emphasize the indecision that is in this market last week. And if we look at the structure that price action evolved into last week, we can see that the situation we have here is looking more like a reversal pattern where the $1,755 level will be serving as the neckline of that structure. So going into the new week, I want to be seeing price break down that structure, which already has happened during the later part of last week's trading session. We already saw a signal in the form of a breakdown of that structure. So what I want to be looking forward to this week is a breakdown retest of that structure, followed by selling pressure on our lower time frame to push price further to the downside. Now, with that being said, if I zoom out and let's see what the structure is here, we saw that we have this bullish trend line after connecting the series of lower highs since the month of September. We saw how that level, that trend line has been holding price action. We saw another higher low here, though we had a little breakdown of that structure, retest of that structure. But during the course of the early week of the month of November, we saw our price broke out of that structure one more time. And from a technical standpoint, whenever we have a breakout of a structure like this, we expect that one point in time, price might likely retrace back into that structure, which also shares a confluence with a very important key level at the $1,680 level. So we might be having a situation where price comes into the structure. It could be the bullish trend line here, or probably the $1,680 area. But the most important structure we want to be looking for around this area is a reversal pattern. It could be a double bottom structure, which might incite the second wave of that bullish momentum. So going into the new week, I will be expecting that price will be coming back down into the TP target zone, which I have identified around the 1,730 and the $1,680 level, and then we look out for buying opportunity. But rest assured that I will be jumping in the comment section during the early hours of the week after monitoring our price action. Our participants in this market will be relating to this current structure. Then I will be giving you an update of what my expectation or what my intentions are during the early hours of the new week. If this video has been of immense help in making your own individual decision on the XAUUSD, kindly support this project by clicking the like button. You also want to follow me on my TradingView platform at Dark Sherry so that you don't miss out on the regular updates I normally share in the comment section of every video. Thank you for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you right here in the comment section of this video on my TradingView platform on Monday. Do have a wonderful evening. Bye bye.